So Arsenal have lost 2-0 to Brentford on the opening day of the brand new Premier League season. Amazon was saying all or nothing, Arsenal replied with all for nothing. The pressure only increases on the shoulders of Mikel Arteta, and in terms of us Arsenal fans at this stage, all I can say is we're getting used to this. But on this channel we are not here to rant, we're here to talk football. So here are 5 things that we learnt in Arsenal's 2-0 defeat to Brentford. First things first, Ben White exposed. I love the call in Benny Blanco, Arsenal's £50 million summer centre-back signing, and as things stand, he is our only marquee signing of this summer. And in terms of the player, I have no doubt of his ball playing ability, and whenever Ben White was pressing his game, he looked pretty decent on the ball and playing out the press. But in terms of defensively the job of a centre-back, Ben White was exposed. Benny Blanco was bullied by Ivan Toney, and eerily he was all over Ben White. Ben White in total won 3 out of his 7 aerial duels in the entire game. When he came out, he looked shaky, he got beaten quite a few times as well, and for a fee of £50 million, you certainly expect a better defender first and foremost. And the real worry is more teams are only going to expose Ben White eerily. Next up, we have the European champions in Chelsea, and they've got a brand new monster of a centre forward in Romelu Lukaku. One thing that may help out Ben White is the return of Gabriel Magalhaes, who is a defensive and aerial monster. If you want to be the long-term answer to Arsenal's defensive woes, Ben White, you cannot keep getting bullied. But what were your thoughts on Ben White's competitive debut for Arsenal, and rate his performance out of 10 down below in the comments. On to the second thing, and that is right back and goalkeepers exposed. It wasn't just Benjamin White, as Callum Chambers and Bernd Leno were also massively exposed in my opinion. Starting off with the right back Callum Chambers, the fact that he started in the first place indicates to me that Mikel Arteta as it stands sees him as a starting right back going into the season. Would Callum Chambers be the starting right back out of any of the other top 4 clubs, top 5, top 6, top 7? Personally, I don't think so. Does he have the physicality, the pace and the power to play as a fullback? And so the fact that Callum Chambers is our starting right back, for me he is at best a backup player, and the issue with this current Arsenal team is we're full of too many backup dancers. So I'm going to throw to you a certain Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who remains at Arsenal Football Club and is still yet to be sold. Out of him, Hector Bellerin and Cedric Suarez and Callum Chambers, who do you guys want to see as Arsenal starting right back? I myself would love to see us go into the transfer market and actually use it to sign a right back. I'm looking at you, Edu Gaspar. Goalkeeper Bernd Leno, I'm not trying to blame him completely. It might not always be an obvious mistake, but Leno's passing accuracy and most importantly weight of pass can create a lot of nerves and issues playing out of the back. And it also destroys the confidence of the other Arsenal players who don't want to receive the ball from Bernd Leno, and it creates a lot of unnecessary pressure, which makes it harder for Arsenal to play out of the back. And it's not just his short passes being dodgy, even his long passes, even they are very average and very dodgy. If you look at the Brentford goal today, they had a certain David Raya. He is certainly a level above Bernd Leno, and he makes it so much easier for Brentford to play at the back. He can go long, he can go short, and overall helps the team in confidence and helps the attack as well. Leno's kicking ability doesn't only hinder Arsenal in terms of playing up the press, for me it also hinders our attack, as we simply cannot get up the press and get the ball to the final third. And so with there still being time in the transfer window, comment down below what goalkeeper do you want to see Arsenal sign to replace Bernd Leno and not just be a backup dancer. 3. The creative issues remain. 22 shots and 0 big chances created. Smith Rowe might be the guy, and in terms of his performance today, for me he was outstanding. But overall I see him as it stands as a secondary playmaker and a player who can play the final pass but is still too young and raw to do so. And at 20 years of age, ask yourselves the question, at what other really big club does Smith Rowe become the main creative focal point out of all those teams? But it seems like at Arsenal Football Club they want to put all the pressure on a young 20-year-old to hope that he can somehow become the next Kevin De Bruyne, the next Jack Grealish, and help solve Arsenal's creative woes. How many times does Tierney and Smith Rowe and Pepe and Cole get that ball into the dangerous part of the final third, and yet we still can't find that final pass? This has become too much of a regular issue for Arsenal, especially under Mikel Arteta, and this team for me is crying out for a final action player like a certain James Maddison. But instead it seems like Arsenal want to sign Martin Odegaard, and we're going to discuss more of that tomorrow. So it may just just be a brand new season, but Arsenal still have the same creative issues in my opinion. But how do Arsenal resolve it? My friends, in the comments, please, let's have a discussion. Fourth thing we learned is, are Arsenal the brand new Tottenham? Now, I was watching the game on Sky Sports and the commentator was Jamie Carragher, and when Arsenal conceded their second goal, he called that an Arsenal goal to concede. And you know what? He was bang on, because we have become a club that gets bullied genetically. No matter who the centre-backs are, who the personnel, the manager and the player, we keep conceding the same type of goals. And even in terms of the performance, that was a typical Arsenal performance. And so a lot of our fans love to say it's the history of the Tottenham, likewise your boy, but that performance was the history of the Arsenal. We keep doing it, and that was an Arsenal-esque bullied performance. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I saw this happening deep down. When I saw that we had Brentford away in the first game of the season, where their fans are back, their brand new stadium, their first game in the Premier League, the players, the fans, the entire atmosphere will be up for it. I just knew the Arsenal players don't have the mentality to deal with that sort of pressure. And this has become a reoccurring theme, not just Arteta or Emery, even Arsene Wenger's time. There seems to be an issue in our DNA, as too often we are getting bullied. I don't want to say it, but slowly and surely we, Arsenal Football Club, are becoming serial losers. How can I even know deep down that my team was going to lose against a newly promoted team? There is a massive deep down issue in Arsenal, and somehow in some way we're going to have to get to the bottom of it and find a way to address it. And on to number 5, and that is Mikel Arteta's time is up. And I'm not just trying to say his time as Arsenal manager, but more or less the time for so-called patience the Arsenal board keeps trying to say. Give Arteta time, give him more of his own players. He is getting those players in now, and I'll be really improving and kicking on as a team. Ask yourself the question, what's the clear sign that we've seen, the clear sign of progress in the team? We have now got creative issues, defensively we're still getting bullied. Whenever the tough gets going, Arsenal get going. They start running away because they cannot deal with the pressure. Even though Arteta tried to drill it into these Arsenal players, we still cannot play through a press. And we can't even sustain attacks anymore. We can't even score goals anymore. And it's the lack of goals, the lack of creativity, which is my biggest issue of Mikel Arteta. He may be able to drill a team and help draw a press or draw a defence, but overall, if Arsenal Football Club can't score goals, it doesn't sit right. That doesn't make sense. It's not meant to happen like that. And you know what, when he came in, I really did like Mikel Arteta. I want to see him succeed at Arsenal Football Club, because if he does well, so do Arsenal. But the constant shouts of patience and give him more time, we are Arsenal Football Club. I always say that we're a gargantuan institution, and I mean it. And at any other big club, the top 4, the top 5, the top 6 or 7, would Arteta be given this sort of time and this sort of patience? If Arsenal are a big club, we need to act like a big club. And if Mikel Arteta can't sort himself out in the early parts of the season, there is no point of trying to waste another season. Next up, we have the European champions, and that's followed up by the Premier League champions. So quite a small task for Mikel Arteta. But if we go 3-0 in the first 3 games of the season and don't pick up a point or at least get a win, the pressure on Arteta with the fans back is going to be too massive, and I can see Mikel Arteta being sacked if things don't go to plan. The Arsenal board say they want to back him. How about you back him in the transfer market? We still need a brand new attacking midfielder, a new right back and a goalkeeper, and even a centre forward. But even if we give Arteta those players, is he the right manager to help us kick on to the next level? That, my friends, is for you guys to discuss down below in the comments. But there is the video there and there. If you have enjoyed, make sure to go down there and smash a like on the video. And while you're down there, please do consider subscribing to your boy's channel. If you want to follow your boy on them social medias, then the links will be down below in the description. But that was 5 things we learned in Arsenal's 2-0 defeat to Brentford on the opening day of the Premier League season, embarrassed in front of the world yet again, and there's a feeling I'm getting used to, unfortunately. Until then though, lads, I will see you guys later in a bit.